last episode. The playlist will be linked down below. And if you're ready, let's get into it. I held my breath as it approached, only letting myself exhale when absolutely necessary. I didn't dare poke my head out the entrance or attempt to get a direct look at it, but the shape of its shadows on the wall behind the then opening did more than enough to make sure I never forget this experience for the rest of my life. The lowest part of his body looked to be composed of at least a dozen thin but long limbs that all moved in unison with one another in a twisted, uncanny manner, like a centipede that had been sloppily stitched together. Above that set of horrific legs was a long rectangular frame with a dozen more bent and thin limbs protruding from each side of it. I couldn't even tell if this thing had a head, definitely not one that could make out with the shadow. Who in their right mind would keep a monstrosity like this in here? Was it locked up? Did it kill the people keeping it contained and get out? Is that why this place is abandoned? Even if I did have answers to all those questions, it still doesn't explain the fact that it seems like I'm far from the only average person to end up trapped in here. It really was something out of a child's nightmare. Anyone's nightmare, in all honesty. It stopped only feet in front of the entrance to my den. I prayed to every god that I could think of, hoping it wouldn't detect or sense me. The creature, or whatever it was, let out a low growl, a far departure from the pitch of sounds it was making previously. I could feel it vibrate the wall that my back was against as I held my breath. Even if I wanted to make a sound, I couldn't. No noise could escape me. My terror was busy holding it in. It seems to turn side to side, as if in the middle of looking for something, but the creature didn't move in either of those directions, instead choosing to continue to move forward and turn the corner down another hall, allowing me to live to see another day. For the time being, I made an escape while I had the chance, busting out of the entrance to the den and immediately making a mad dash for the left in the lightest footstep possible. Nearly right after turning the corner, I spotted my camcorder on the floor at the far end of the hall. It had been smashed with dozens of broken off pieces all over the area surrounding it. All the footage and proof I had were gone. I wasn't aware at the time if there was some way to extract or salvage anything of it. I could only wonder how pissed my friends would be when I tell them all those short films we created using that things are toast. But there wasn't much time to mourn the loss of my hard work, so I kept moving. When I made it back to the cylinder room this time, I chose a different path to go down. Last thing I needed was to go anywhere besides the total opposite direction of where that thing was headed. I was now more alert than ever as I trekked through this nonsensical expanse, aware that there was far worse waiting for me in these walls than simple starvation or severe loneliness as a result of isolation. In all honesty, I've always loved my privacy and being away from others, but not like this. There was more of the same everywhere I went. Yellow walls, white ceilings, and smelly moist carpet. The buzz of the lights became a background song at a certain point. I had just accepted the reality that it wasn't gonna stop anytime soon. Regardless, I took 3 left turns, then 3 precisely, flight instincts kicked into gear. I didn't bother sticking around to get a better look at what I knew was a truly horrifying appearance. I turned and ran once more, reaching the opposite ends of the hallway in mere seconds before immediately making a sharp left turn into another. I heard the creature let out a blood-chilling screech as it gave chase. Those many legs stampeding along the cup rooms within the level are identical. The lights flickers inconsistently and hums at a constant frequency. The substance exaggerating the carpet cannot be consistently identified. It is not water, nor is it safe to consume. Level 0 is entirely still and devoid of life, despite the fact that it is the primary entrance to the back rooms. Contact with other wanderers within the level has never been reported. Presumably, a great number of people have died before exiting, the most likely cause being dehydration, starvation, and psychological trauma due to sensory deprivation and isolation. However, no corpses have been reported from these hypothetical deaths. Attempting to enter level 0 in a group will result in a separation of the group until the level is exited. Interesting, so maybe the entities that our main character encountered was some kind of crazy chance. And also I wonder if the guy who got consumed by the entity were a wonder or just someone who stumbled upon it just as he has. Well, this is really interesting. I mean, if this is level 0, that's kinda intense. I'm kinda curious to see like what are level, like, I don't know, the highest level backrooms like. Let me see. So there's level 999, which seems to be the highest level. Survival difficulty, glass vinyl, unchanging landscape, unchanging structures, and unchanging. Level 999 is nothing. Interesting. Level 999 is a floating tropical island that rests deep within a starry space-like void. The entire landscape is coated in a desaturating aura which causes all matter in the level to lose its hue and display a grayscale effect. This effect, which dissipates upon leaving the level, is believed to be carrying a bleaching effect onto items or people that inhabit level 999 for extended periods of time, due to the fact that the sand, dirt, trees, water, and artificially constructed materials found naturally within the level do not revert to any expected color if taken out. This sounds a little bit hard to understand. Maybe I could find a story for this one, level 999. Let me see if it is the highest level in the background. Oh no, apparently there's a higher level. How many is that? 9223372036854775807 is the signed 64-bit integral limit on a computer, and is presumably the final level of the backrooms. Almost the end, apparently it's called. Interesting.